There was a disturbing report that came out here with Fox News, and it caught many eyes here. Homeland Security, Department of Homeland Security, the one charged with, keeping us, one of the departments charged with keeping us safe. Well, they couldn't even keep their own stuff safe. I'm talking about badges, identification badges, guns, cell phones. Since 2012, over 1,300 badges, 165 firearms, and nearly 600 cell phones lost or stolen over that span of time. And a lot of these belong to employees with the Customs and Border Protection Unit, some with ICE as well, some of the guns. But, I mean, this is disturbing to say the very least. But should we just chalk this up to it's a big agency, there's always going to be problems, don't overblow it, or, hey, get yourself in gear? And we have our own issues in the state of Michigan right now, according to many around the country. Yes, indeed, we do with bureaucracy. So let's discuss this morning with a law enforcement expert and the Director of Public Administration Master's Degree Program at Tarleton State University, Dr. G.M. Cox. Good morning.
Good morning, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing okay. So hyper concerned, somewhat concerned, or these things happen, don't blow it out of proportion. What's your take?
I'd say responsibly concerned. I don't know about hyper concerned. I'm not in panic mode yet, certainly not. I mean, keep in mind that DHS is one of the largest federal bureaucracies in the United States.
Right.
It's got over 150,000 employees. So I think a responsibly concerned would be the appropriate approach, in my opinion.
What are some of the bad things? You're an expert on law enforcement and public safety. So
Right.
if these fall into the wrong hands, I guess I worry less about the firearms. We've got millions of those already, but I worry about these ID badges that, could possibly be used to gain access to put, at the border. There's some real, I guess, problems there just with those ID badges, or is that overblown?
No, I think that's a very good concern. What I would suggest, and what I imagine DHS is doing, if they're not doing it, if they're listening to your radio program and listening to what I'm about to say, they need to do
trust me, they're listening all the time. So,
good. Maybe that's true. They need to do an audit, and they need to find out. They need to create a rabbit trail. Where and how were these IDs, these cell phones, these weapons stolen or lost? Is it just a matter of negligence on the part of the employee? Is it, or were their vehicles forcefully entered? Were their homes broken into? And then you got to ask some other questions. Were they targeted because of their identity, or to get their identity cards? These are the kinds of questions they should be asking themselves and auditing right now.
Yes, because there is a huge difference between lost and stolen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, loss could fall into the wrong hands, but frequently loss just means loss. But stolen, is there anything concerted? Is there a concerted effort on the part of one or more others to do so?
Yeah.
And then you got an issue.
Absolutely, you have an issue. Were they stolen because of their value as an ID, or were they stolen as a byproduct of stealing a bag that had the ID in it, or was it an indeterminate or indirect theft? But many officers are trained how to deal with these kinds of IDs. When we interact with other officers, we know how. Hey, it's a great-looking badge. You got an ID with that. Typically, people are not going to have both. They may have stolen a badge, but they got no ID. They may have stolen an ID, but they have no badge. So these kinds of things go in tandem.
Is this the kind of thing here? When you work with young people who are working on their career in public administration. These the type of things, and you know well with the situation we have going on, national story now here in the state of Michigan. Does this lower people's confidence in those who help govern overall, or does this coming to light and dealing with it honestly and fairly and with admission of blame, does this make people eventually say, okay, there's good people involved, they make mistakes, they're going to fix it? Which is it, or is it a combination of both?
Well, I think it's a combination of both. I think we should be genuinely concerned as citizens that we have this large agency that may need to do some work on the internal audit process. And then the other side of that is they're human beings. I don't think they intend to hurt anybody or be negligent. Now, if they are negligent, that needs to be fixed. But people, you and I know I've lost my keys before. I've lost my ID before.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So, but you're right. But I think it's a genuine concern. I think we need to approach it with a responsible eye and determining what were the causes and fix those causes. If it's insecurity or lack of security in the cars, in their homes, or their offices, that needs to be fixed.
I guess, in my mind, there's the problem that you've been bird dogged to, and that's one thing, and that's bad enough. We're discussing it, but it's the one you don't know about that's ongoing. That can be the one that's actually worse, right?
Absolutely. We don't know their motive. We don't know what they're going to use them for. And like you said, missing is very hard to determine. Is it missing because of negligence? Is it missing because the last time I saw it, I was at the gym? Those kinds of things we need to find out what was going on. And then were your vehicles broken into or were they unlocked? That kind of thing.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Get answers and be forthright with investigating. And that's going on now with Homeland Security Services. Again, when they've lost or had stolen 1,300 badges, 165 firearms, and nearly 600 cell phones over the span of 31 months. It has come to light. Dr. G.M. Cox, Public Administration Master's Degree Program Director at Tarleton State University and law enforcement public safety expert. Appreciate you very much joining us, and have a wonderful day, sir.
My pleasure, Dave. You too.
All right, take care. More ahead. It's disturbing, but again, it's like the old saying, the devil you know versus the devil you don't. At least this has been identified. They're investigating. Hopefully something will come to light and not get shelved. But what else is going on out there that we don't know about? That's always the one that bothers me the most. This is 1320 WILS.